evening, I'm Ces Orenia Drilon.
I'm Pauline Verzosa.
And I'm Sean Yao.
The big stories tonight. It was a scene straight out of a movie. Senator Bato de la Rosa, just emerging from months long in hiding, being chased by NBI agents right inside the upper chamber. The reason soon unfolded, a supposed ICC arrest warrant had to be served the former PNP chief turned lawmaker.
And the Fast and Furious showdown wasn't just in the Senate's parking lot and stairwell. In plenary, senators voted to replace their current leaders with a minority, now the majority bloc.
And the happenings at the Senate could have just turned the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte into an uphill battle. That's even as the House of Representatives impeached the VP again in an overwhelming vote of 257.
While news spread, the ICC has issued an arrest warrant against Senator Ronaldo Bato de la Rosa. The lawmakers suddenly turned up in session.
But it was not a calm entrance for Bato. He was chased down from the Senate parking lot to the elevators by agents of the NBI.
The reason for that chase remains unclear, but De La Rosa's colleagues in the upper chamber have put him under protective custody and even talked about the ICC not having jurisdiction in the Philippines.
And so, as we speak, Senator Bato remains holed up at the Senate. The building even had to be put on lockdown amid this afternoon's chaos. Mobile journalist Merimon Reyes has tonight's big story.
Ito klaseng gobyerno. As sitting president, hinaharang hindi papasukin sa sesyon. Kung ako'y absent, hinahanap na ako ninyo. Sumusweldo. Hindi nagpapakita. Ngayon, papakita ko dito. Hinara ko naman yung guy. Niristling ako doon. Kasugat-sugat ako.
After more than 6 months of absence, an angry and emotional Senator Bato de la Rosa surprised everyone when he suddenly appeared at the Senate Session Hall on Monday afternoon.
This is the Senate. Wala silang respeto sa institusyon ng Senado. Ganun ang NBI.
He was shouting because operatives from the National Bureau of Investigation blocked him from the Senate building. CCTV footage showed NBI chasing De La Rosa and his entourage into a fire exit in the building. De La Rosa even tripped and fell as he climbed the flight of stairs. He immediately entered a room his colleague opened for him, while others from his group went the separate way, apparently as a decoy. But the authorities caught on and opened the door De La Rosa had entered in. Commotion ensued. Eventually, though, the NBI operatives let him go. After the ruckus, De La Rosa said he sustained a wound on his hand. He confronted the Senate Sergeant-at-Arms for not interfering.
Kung ikaw ang senador, sir, ako ang Sergeant-at-Arms. Magpapakamatay ako para hindi ka magalaw dito sa institusyon nito. Magpapakamatay ako para sa'yo.
When asked why he suddenly appeared,
But why are you here, sir? Bakit po kayo napapasok today, sir?
Ay, ang senador ng Republic. Kung hindi ko mapasok, ginahanap niyo ako. Di ba? Ngayon mapasok ako, tatanungin niyo ako, bakit ako pumapasok?
But sir, may kinalaman sa pagkuser para makabuo ng numbers po?
Lahat yan, trabaho ng senador.
in the middle of the chaos, former Senator Sonny Trillanes appeared, alleged ICC arrest warrant against De La Rosa in hand. The documents were even labeled secret, but he showed it to the media nevertheless. Trillanes said this is in response to De La Rosa's challenge to him back in 2024.
Go ahead, make my day, Mr. Trillanes! Sabihan mo, sige ka lang ngak-ngak dyan ng ICC. Sige, go ahead. Kahit sumama ka pa, mag-serve ng warrant. Sumama ka, ikaw mismo magpusa sa akin.
Personal request ni Bato na samahan ko daw yung pagka-arestuhin siya. Nandito ngayon na arestuhin siya.
Sino po yung
That's why I'm here. Diba? Nandito yung NBI, arestuhin siya. O, inamin niya ako, diba? Inamin niya ako, nandito ako, I showed up. Inamin niya ako na samahan ko yung mag-aresto sa kanya. Nandito ko ngayon.
However, Even the overthrown Senate President Tito Soto has spoken before that as a matter of institutional courtesy, the upper house cannot allow any member to be arrested within its premises while it is in session. And indeed, the Senate has approved a motion seeking to place De La Rosa under Senate protective custody. The move was made as a precautionary measure that would allow De La Rosa to address the legal developments while ensuring his security and access to available judicial options.
Even assuming fully coordinated yung arrest warrant, they should have approached Senator Bato or approached the Sergeant-at-Arms, given a copy of the warrant, and negotiate his surrender because they are in Senate premises. Pero instead, nakipaghabulan sila. Hinabol nila, they attempted to stop Senator Bato from attending the session.
Kapatid Mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes, we are One News.
Tight security remains in place at the upper chamber following reports of an alleged attempt to arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa inside the complex. For the latest, we go live to mobile journalist Fatima Baduria at the Senate. Fatima, ano na ang sitwasyon dyan? Meron nga bang naganap na altercation between the staff of the Sergeant-at-Arms and the NBI?
Regina, Sean, Pauline, nandito tayo kayo sa labas ng Senado dahil actually kakalift lang ng lockdown around 30 minutes ago, pero binabantayan natin yung nangyayari dito sa labas. At yes, kanina lang daw nagkaroon ng pulok sa pagitan ng security ng Senado at ng NBI matapos pigilan ng Senate Secretary mapapalit ang NBI. O hindi natin na nakikita. Ang nakita natin kaya mula dito sa labas ng Senado ay lumabas si NBI Director at sinalubong siya mga taga-suporta ni Senator Bato de la Rosa at sinisigawan din siya dahil nga sa mga pangyayari.
Paano ba nagsimula ang parang pakikipag-away o naging physical, di ba, yung sa pagitan ng NBI at OSA?
Yes, actually nagsimula yan nung yung mga NBI ay pumasok sa Senate premises para daw maghain ng warrant of arrest kay Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa mula sa ICC. At meron ding nakitang CCTV footage na nakita yung mga NBI personnel na sinusundan yung senador at nasabi pa nga ng ni Senator de la Rosa na hinabol daw siya at nasugatan pa daw. At doon nagsimula yung altercation na ito.
Pero bakit pinipigilan ng NBI na umalis sa Senado? Tama ba ang pagkakaintindi na nagkaroon ng alitan dahil ayaw nilang paalisin ang NBI doon sa Senado? Okay.
Yes, actually talagang pinipigilan nga raw nila yung NBI na makalabas habang hindi pa nga klaro kung ito yung mga nangyayari at naka-lockdown pa nga doon. So yun yung pinipigilan nila kanina.
So sino na ngayon ang naiiwan dyan sa Senado kahit ngayong na-lift na ang lockdown?
Actually, karamihan pa rin ay nandoon. Ang nakita pa lang natin kanina na lumabas ay si dating Senate President Tito Soto. Sa pa lang yung nakita natin na lumabas yung sakay ng kotse. At kanina nga dahil nandito sa labas yung mga taga-suporta ni dating Senator Bato de la Rosa ay hinabol pa yung kotse niya habang palabas pa ng Senado. Pero nakaalis na rin si dating Senate President.
Oo, Fatima, ayusin na lang natin ang signal mo. Sa ngayon ay maraming salamat sa iyong ulat. That was mobile journalist Fatima Baduria reporting live from the Senate. Now let's get another mobile journalist who's also there now. Mary Mon Reyes was at the Senate since this hullabaloo began. Mary Mon, anong nangyayari sa ngayon?
Please, good evening. Sa ngayon, since na-lift na yung pinaka-total lockdown dito sa Senado, so yung ilang mga empleyado dito and even yung mga kapatid natin sa press ay nagkakaroon na ng pagkakataon na lumabas, iba na yung pagiging mahigpit nila kumpara kanina. Pero just a few minutes ago, kung makikita nyo dito sa likuran ko, merong mga kawani mula sa sangkapulisan ang pumunta dito. Though we're yet to know kung ano ang pakay nila, lalo't pat sa kasalukuyan under the Senate Protective Custody itong si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Ang unang nagbosyon kasi niyan kanina si Senator Rodante Marcoleta na ngayon ay miyembro na ng Senate Majority at agad namang inaprubahan ang motion na ito. Yung kanyang Senate Protective Custody ay para masiguro na may access itong si Senator Bato sa lahat ng legal remedies available while also securing yung security niya, lalong-lalo pa pagdating sa pagharap nitong legal development sa paligid niya. Si former Senator Sonny Trillanes nandito kanina at sagot niya yon sa hamon daw sa kanya ni Senator Bato na samahan yung aaresto sa kanya. And the bit ni Senator Trillanes, ito yung sealed na ICC arrest warrant laban sa senador. But then again, since under the Senate Protective Custody, itong kustodiya na to usually binibigay ito sa witnesses ng mga malalaking mga issue o mga inquiries na ginagawa dito sa Senado. Pero ngayon na natin ulit nakita na ang isang senador ay nasa kustodiya ngayon ng Senado. So hindi pa natin alam sa ngayon kung ano yung epekto niyan dito sa mga sangkapulisan na nag-aabang. While kanina naman sa pagitan ng OSAA or ng Office of the Sergeant at Arms pati ng NBI, nagkaroon ng init ng ulo, nagkaroon ng girian at ang nakuha natin impormasyon on that is pinipigilan daw muna ng OSAA na pinipigilan muna ng OSAA ang NBI na umalis. So hindi nila pinapayagan na umalis ang NBI reportedly, pero nagkaroon ng punto na nagkainitan sila. So itong nakikita nyo sa video, yan ang isang miyembro ng OSAA. And siya yung napuruhan doon sa bakbakan sa pagitan ng NBI at saka ng OSAA. Well, currently ang alam natin siya ay nasa clinic para sa kanyang medical attention na kinakailangan.
Tama ba na ayaw nilang paalisin dahil gusto nilang kasuhan itong mga ahente ng NBI?
Kanina kasi, doon sa session floor, una kasing nireklamo agad. Nung pagpasok ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, it was very surprising yung moment na yun nung pagpasok niya. Pero tayo mismo na malapit sa rostrum, narinig natin bago pumasok si Senator Bato, may kalampog doon sa likod na area bago pupapasok ng rostrum. Pagpasok ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, pagkatapos niyang batiin yung mga senador na nandoon, isa sa pinakakinakantsawan niya ay yung mga security officials from the NBI, maging ng OSAA, na sinasabing hindi raw ginawa yung OSAA, hindi raw ginawa yung trabaho na protektahan siya bilang senador. Yung NBI naman na hinahadlangan daw siya na makapasok o makapunta dito sa Senado. Pinakita pa niya, may sugat daw siya sa daliri niya dahil nga doon sa naging habulan sa NBI, sa mga agent nito. At nais nga nilang, since cited for contempt itong mga to, ina-identify nila yung agents mula sa NBI na kasama doon sa naging habulan sa senador. So far, yan yung
ano naman ang kasong pwedeng ipataw sa mga NBI agents?
Yung isang pinaka-sinasabi kasi kanina ng mga senador na ngayon ay miyembro na ng majority is hinadlangan itong senador sa kanyang pagpunta dito sa Senado, nasaktan itong senador in the process. Sabi nga may assault daw na nangyari, nasugatan. So ito yung isa sa mga gusto nilang magkaroon ng consequences on the side of the NBI. Pero even sa on the part of the OSAA naman, kanina pa, siguro about an hour ago, nag-resign din naman ang head ng OSAA or ng Office of the Sergeant at Arms. So marami-rami yung mga nangyayari dito hanggang sa oras na ito. Pero again, maraming senador na rin yung nakita nating umalis from the Senate premises. Pero still, ang nakita pa rin natin sa session hall is suspended pa lang yung session, hindi pa siya technically adjourned for the night.
Maputol kita, Marymon, kasi nakikita sa video natin ngayon yung habulan na nangyari sa hagdanan. Yes. Ito lang ba ang nangyari? Meron bang napagbuhatan ba ng kamay si Senator De La Rosa ng mga agents o ito lamang paghabulan ang nangyari sa hagdanan?
Kasi nasugatan din si Senator Bato, Marymon, sa kanyang mga daliri.
Actually, kung base doon kasi sa CCTV footage, ayun pa nga yung unang kinontest kanina, kung maaaring matignan yung CCTV footage para raw makita kung paano nga ba ito nangyari. Pero so far yan lang kung ano yung nakikita natin sa footage, yung sinasabing nangyari behind the scenes bago pumasok ng session hall si Senator Bato. At doon makikita nga yung habulan, pumasok pa sa isang kwarto itong si Senator Bato, yung iba niyang mga kasamahan sa opisina niya, pumasok daw sa kabila, reportedly as a decoy, pero nakakatch up ang NBI. So nakita kung saan pumasok ito si Senator Bato de la Rosa at nagpatuloy yung kanilang habulan. Nagkaroon pa ng point doon sa habulan na natisod pa ang senador pero mabilis din naman siyang bumangon agad. And iyan yung dahil daw dyan yung nagresulta doon sa naging sugat sa kamay o sa daliri ni Senator Bato.
Mary Mon, I guess one of the big questions, no, if I can just rewind to what happened, syempre nagkaroon nga ng coup. Ang tanong na, anong oras nagsimula mag-abang yung mga ahente ng NBI dyan, no, kasama si dating Senador Trillanes, at yung dati bang Senate Majority under former SP Tito Soto, sila ba ay pumayag na ipapasok sila kasi parang walang gusto mag-take ng accountability kung who gave permission, are the NBI allowed to just go there and enforce a warrant?
Sean, ang sinabi ni former Senate President Tito Soto, wala raw siyang idea doon sa nangyari na nagkaroon ng habulan, nagkaroon ng nasugatan daw itong si Senator Bato. Basta narinig niya lang din daw may kalampog na nangyari sa likod nga ng session hall. And tayo rin kasi mismo, about a month or two ago, may instances na may nakikita rin tayong NBI sa paligid ng Senado. Pero still, yun yung panahon na wala pa dito si Senator Bato de la Rosa, physically absent pa rin siya. Pero ngayong araw kasi, ang sinasabi naman ni former Senator Sonny Trillanes, nung nangyari raw yung karambola o yung habulan dito kay Senator Bato de la Rosa, wala raw siya doon. And tayo rin kasi naging timeline din natin nung tinitingnan natin yung orasan. Pagsisimula lang ng session, dumating na rin agad si Senator Bato de la Rosa. So I think that's between the first 30 minutes ng session, dumating si Senator Bato de la Rosa, and then minutes later, ito namang si former Senator Sonny Trillanes ang dumating at sinasabi niya na nandun daw siya, nandito siya bilang kasagutan sa naging hamon sa kanya ni Senator Bato, na samahan daw niya yung mga aaresto dito kay Senator Bato. And in this case, ang magsaserve nung arrest warrant na yon ng ICC is the NBI. Kaya yun so far yung mga nakuha nating kasagutan Pero on the part of the Senate ngayon, under the leadership of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, the protection na binibigay nila ngayon sa senador, magiging under siya ng Senate Protective Custody.
And Mary Mo, nakita nga natin si former Senator Trillanes showing this copy of an ICC arrest warrant. Pero were you able to really look at the contents, kung authentic ba talaga yan, and if the NBI agents were really acting on an actual arrest warrant from the ICC?
Yung nakita kasi natin, actually ang sabi pa nga ni former Senator Trillanes, confidential daw to, ilalabas din daw ito soon, pero binigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na mahagilap mismo yung hawak niya. And ito mismo, kapag tinitingnan ko yung picture, for example, ito yung isang page nung supposed na arrest warrant. So nakalagay yung photo ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, ayan nakalagay pa nga secret photograph ito ng senador, supposedly na nilalaman ng arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court. And then, ihinarap niya ulit ito pang isa. Kasi nung tinanong ko sa kanya, kay former Senator Trillanes, ibig sabihin ba, mali ba yung lumabas na info nitong weekend na merong lumabas na arrest warrant laban sa senador? Sabi ni Senator Trillanes, yun daw yung public arrest warrant. Ito, yung hawak niya, ito raw yung sealed arrest warrant from the ICC. So hanggang dun lang yung information na nakuha natin, hindi rin tayo nahayaan o hindi tayo nakakuha ng pagkakataon na ma-scan through yung laman mismo ng hawak ng senador, ng former senator.
Bale, Mary Mon, di natin alam kung bakit si former Senator Trillanes yung may hawak ng arrest warrant kung dapat yung NBI ang magsuserve nitong warrant.
Ang sinasabi dyan ni Trillanes, kaya raw siya nandito dahil daw sa personal request o dahil daw sa challenge ni Senator Bato de la Rosa dating year 2024 na hinahamon nga raw na samahan ni Trillanes yung aaresto dito kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. So yun daw yung rason kaya siya nandito. And paulit-ulit niya lang din yun na sinasabi, kaya raw siya nandito dahil nga dun sa hamon ni Senator Bato. And ang sinabi niya rin, ang magsaserve nung pinaka-arrest warrant from the ICC ay yung National Bureau of Investigation. Ang sabi pa nga kanina, nung wala pa itong custody, wala pang yung talks ng protection na ganyan, hihintayin daw ni Trillanes na lumabas itong si Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Ngayon naman, nagsalita ba si Senator Bato de la Rosa kung bakit today of all days na napili niyang pumasok? Ang tagal niyang absent di ba?
Ang sabi niya, pagpasok sa Senado or sa session floor, yun nga, parang ang daming naging naratibo sa mga nangyari ngayong araw. Pero ang sinasabi ni Senator Bato, gusto niya raw bumoto. And bukod doon kay Senator Bato, ang nangyari pa kasi dito sa Senado ay yung kudeta. Nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa liderato ng Senado. And crucial dito yung physical vote ng mga senador. Kaya yun yung sinasabi ni Senator Bato na pinigilan daw siya, pinadlangan daw siya ng NBI, yung OSAA raw, hindi raw siya pinrotektahan. Pero kung siya raw ang OSAA, yung OSAA daw ang senador, magbubuwis buhay daw siya para maprotektahan itong senador. Pero yun yung pinaka sinasabi niya, boboto raw siya para nga sa pagkakataong ito kaya siya pumunta. And ang tinanong ko rin kanina kay former Senator Trillanes na was it parang nalaman din was it part of his strategy on the camp of Senator Bato na pumunta today na masabay ito sa kudeta? Sabi ni Senator Trillanes, strategy na raw yan ng kampo ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. Basta ang sinasabi niya, eto ngayon ang arrest warrant, nandito ang batas, at sinasabi nga na yung mga humaharap daw ng mga pending, lalo na sa mga arbitral na courts, maaaring arestuhin. But again, things are different on the case na nasa ilalim ng Senate Protective Custody itong si De La Rosa. Kasi nga, may notion dito sa Senado na hanggang nasa session, ang Senado, still in session ang Senado at yung mga senador ay nandito, hindi raw maaaring arestuhin. Pero kung timeline-wise, magkakaroon ng adjournment ang session dito sa Senado by June 5. So, iyan yung isa sa mga antabayanan natin sa mga susunod na linggo. Plus, at Jimmy Bondoc, legal counsel ni De La Rosa, nandito rin siya. Kaya yan yung isa sa mga hihintay nating development sa mga susunod na araw, especially on the camp of Senator Bato.
Mary Mon, what about the resignation of Senate Sergeant at Arms na si Rene Samonte? No? Ano naman yung nag-lead to his resignation today?
Well, walang ibang pagpapaliwanag pa tayo nakukuha tungkol dyan. Basta ang nangyari kasi before that is yung pagpasok nga ni Senator Bato de la Rosa sa session hall. And prior to that, yung naging habulan niya mula sa agents ng NBI at yung kini-question nga ng senador, maging nung panahon pa na yon, minority pa itong sina Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, sina Senator Nati Marcoleta, sina Senator Amy Marcos, na kini-question din nila yung kung naging epektibo raw ba yung OSAA sa pagprotekta dito sa senador. So yan, plus ipasok na natin yung naging change of Senate leadership, yung naging botohan, plus yung pagre-raise ng concern tungkol nga dito sa CCTV footage, yung nais nilang ma-cite for contempt, matanggal sa posisyon itong mga miyembro ng NBI. Dito na pumasok ngayon yung resignation naman ng Sergeant at Arms. Pero again, wala pang ibang impormasyon tungkol dyan.
Puntahan naman natin yung hakbang ng bagong liderato sa Senado. Ano ba ang pagkakaintindi mo sa mga binitawang mga salita ni Senate President Cayetano, Alan Peter Cayetano?
Says kanina, bago mag-start yung session, ang nasabi sa atin ni now Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, wala raw magiging kudeta para hadlangan yung convening ng Senado bilang impeachment court. Pero later on, ang nakita din natin is nagkaroon ng change of leadership and then leading ngayon sa pagbibigay ng protective custody para kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. And ang sinisiguro lang daw nila dito is yung protection sa senador, especially sa legal developments na nangyayari sa paligid niya. So again, ito nga yung nagsisiguro na may access sa legal remedies or alternatives or options itong si Senator de la Rosa, while secured din or guaranteed din yung kanyang security for the time being. Kasi yung isa sa kine-question pa nga kanina, para papayag daw sila kung local court ang mag-i-issue ng arrest warrant. Kasi nga, ang katayuan din ng minority noong dati pa, nung minority pa lang sila, is kine-question din naman nila yung jurisdiction nga ng ICC tungkol dito, yung tungkol doon sa arrest warrant, kung valid nga ba ito. And now, from this point forward, hanggang sa mga susunod na araw, ang isa pang pwedeng maapektuhan na dito sa dynamic sa Senado is yung pagbuo ng committee chairmanships. Papasok dito yung usapan ngayon ng isang major committee, which is the Blue Ribbon Committee, na pending yung paglabas ng partial committee report nito. So, so far kasi sa pinakatapusan ng sesyon, yung dalawang posisyon sa pinakatuktok ang napunan pa lang. So, Senate President, si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, then serving as Senate President pro tempore, si Senator Lauren Legarda. Kaya marami-rami pa tayong aabangan sa mga susunod na linggo.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes.
And after the dramatic chase of Senator Bato de la Rosa, the Senate Minority Bloc unseated Senate President Vicente Tito Soto. Here's the story of how the coup, just rumors this weekend, came to pass.
Senate Minority Leader Alan Cayetano announced at the start of Monday's plenary session that the minority had the 13 votes needed to replace Senate President Tito Soto. Soon after Cayetano's announcement, Minority Senator Joel Villanueva moved to declare all Senate positions vacant. The motion was carried with 13 senators voting in favor, 9 against, and 2 abstentions. Then, Minority Senator Amy Marcos nominated Cayetano for Senate President, while then still Senate President pro tempore Ping Lacson nominated Soto in an attempt to keep his leadership. But when the Senate presidency was put to a vote, the 13 senators chose Cayetano. Those who voted for Alan Cayetano included Senator Bato de la Rosa, who suddenly appeared in the Senate after months of being absent. Aside from de la Rosa, these were the other senators that installed Cayetano, the running mate of former President Rodrigo Duterte in the 2016 elections. Francis Escudero, Jinggoy Estrada, Bongo, Rodante Marcoleta, Amy Marcos, Robin Padilla, and Joel Villanueva. The swing votes came from 4 members of the majority bloc, Senators Loren Legarda, Pia Cayetano, and siblings Camille and Mark Villar. These Cayetano supporters now make up the majority bloc. Those who stuck it out with Soto are now the minority. They are Senators Bam Aquino, Win Gatchalian, Risa Ontiveros, Panfilo Lacson, Lito Lapid, Francis Pangilinan, Erwin Tulfo, and Rafi Tulfo. Senators J.V. Ejercito and Mig Zubiri, who were part of the then majority, abstained from voting. Meantime, Legarda was named new Senate President pro tempore, replacing Lacson. The leadership change took effect as the House of Representatives were moving to vote on the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte. Lacson on Monday confirmed there was indeed an active attempt to unseat Soto in preparation for the impeachment trial. Last week, Senator Padilla openly said that the minority bloc will oppose the convening of the Senate as an impeachment court if the articles of impeachment against VP Duterte are transmitted to the chamber.
Because of the impeachment, sir, yung nangyaring palitan ng liderato?
Probably. Probably. That's a very strong possibility. Because if I were Senate President, once the House approves the articles of impeachment and sends it to us, I will constitute and convene the impeachment court tomorrow. We will insist that the impeachment articles, once submitted to us, be taken up.
But in his first address as Senate President, Cayetano denied the move was about the Vice President's impeachment trial.
Kung kayo sinisisi, kung sinasabi niyo sa news na ang pagpalit ng leadership ay tungkol sa impeachment, hindi po. The impeachment is enshrined in the Constitution. The impeachment will be much more than dismissing a complaint because of political affiliation. And it's also much more than convicting someone without evidence. Parehong hindi pwede yun.
As Senator Bato de la Rosa stands to be arrested upon the order of the International Criminal Court, let's discuss the legalities of this with former Integrated Bar of the Philippines President, Attorney Igon Cayosa. Good evening, Attorney. Welcome once again to The Big Story.
Good evening. Magandang gabi sa ating mga kababayan.
So right now, we know that Senator de la Rosa is going to seek refuge in the Senate premises. Can this be done?
No, you cannot shield yourself from lawful arrest with a validly issued warrant by a recognized court like the ICC. Because the penalty for the crime for which he is being arrested is more than 6 years. And under our Constitution and under our revised penal code, a senator or a lawmaker enjoys immunity from arrest only while Congress or the Senate is in session, and only if the imposable penalty for the crime for which he is being arrested is less than 6 years or less. So hindi applicable ito dun sa kaso ni Senator De La Rosa.
Well, for one, the Senate has issued a resolution allowing this. And secondly, even if it is a warrant issued by an international court and not a local court, does it still cover that exemption you cited?
Yes, because even if it is a warrant issued by an international court, it is a duly recognized court. And even if the Republic of the Philippines, during the presidency of former President Duterte, withdrew from the Rome Statute or from ICC, there's a clear provision in that treaty, which the Philippines earlier signed and ratified, that the pending cases or investigations or cases that have started prior to the withdrawal from the ICC shall continue, and ICC remains has jurisdiction, and the Republic of the Philippines has residual obligation to cooperate with the ICC. That's very clear.
You know,
So
Senator Bato de la Rosa has always cited, and his supporters as well, that he should be tried in a local court.
Well, of course, everybody would want to say that, but during their term in office, while they were doing all of this tokhang, it was very clear that the Republic of the Philippines, under the past administration, and even the earlier parts of this administration, was unwilling or unable to investigate and prosecute the perpetrators of this EJ case. And that's the reason why ICC assumed jurisdiction, because of the complementarity rule. So it was pretty obvious. And had the Republic of the Philippines seriously investigate or prosecute the perpetrators of the EJK, at that time, ICC wouldn't have assumed jurisdiction. Now that it has assumed jurisdiction, everybody still claims dapat sa Philippine courts. That's the whole essence of the ICC taking jurisdiction. We failed to respond to the cries for justice of the families of the EJK victims.
I'd like to add that the Senate resolution has allowed this to allow the senator to be able to seek legal remedies. He has gone to the Supreme Court.
But as a matter of fact, he has a pending petition with the Supreme Court. And so far, the Supreme Court has not issued any resolution or any TRO in his favor. So still presume that the act of government in enforcing the warrant of arrest is, as an official act, is valid and legitimate, presumption of regularity. Also because we have a local law enacted by our Congress and approved by the President so many years ago, the law which penalizes crimes against humanity. And it is very clear in that law, RA 9851, Section 17, that the Republic of the Philippines can directly surrender the accused to ICC. And the law does not require that, the executive branch or the Republic of the Philippines has to seek clearance or a review by the local courts.
Okay. But Attorney, looking at the events of earlier this afternoon, what do you make of how the NBI wanted to effect that arrest? Meaning Senator Trillanes appears to have been the one with a copy of the warrant, while the NBI agents played habulan, with Senator Bato. Is the NBI the right agency to, serve the warrant? And where does randomly, former Senator Trillanes fit in all of this?
Well, number one, any law enforcement unit, whether NBI, PNP, or any lawful authority can execute or serve a warrant. And of course, if the subject of the warrant runs away or hides, you look for him and run after him. That's pretty simple. And it's very clear if you look at our own local law about crimes against humanity and the international treaty that defines crimes against humanity. The penalty is 30 years or more. It's clearly way beyond the threshold provided for in our Constitution and in the revised penal code for temporary immunity from arrest. We repeat, that's a temporary immunity from arrest.
Right, but it was actually not served, right? We don't know if the NBI agents giving chase to Senator Bato also had a copy, but we only saw the copy from former Senator Trillanes, who is, as far as I know, not with any agency of the government.
Well, we don't know in what capacity he's holding that, but he was with NBI agents, so it's pretty obvious that he was with the team. And of course, it is required that when you arrest somebody, that's the time you show him the warrant of arrest. You don't really, as a matter of practice and protocol, and for practical reasons, any court will not publicize a warrant of arrest, because otherwise you give the subject of the warrant of arrest the chance to escape and hide. But the fact now is that there is indeed an ICC warrant of arrest. Of course, you can verify that. The next few hours or days would show if there was a valid warrant of arrest based on existing laws. The NBI or whoever is acting within the authority of law enforcement agencies of our country were just doing their job.
Well, Attorney, is the NBI required to inform the Senate beforehand, before they effect an arrest warrant? Because that's one thing senators also pointed out earlier, that they didn't inform the Senate President, and by tradition, they usually need to coordinate in advance.
Well, tradition, resolutions do not change the law. Of course, it would be nice to seek permission and to coordinate, but they don't have to, especially so if the senators themselves will try to obstruct that. So you don't, the executive branch does not need permission to execute a law or to serve a validly issued warrant. It's only because of courtesy and better, smoother coordination that they do that. But under the circumstances, I couldn't blame the NBI for just doing their job and serve the warrant. There's nothing in the rules, there's nothing in the international law, there's nothing in our local law that says you have to seek permission of the Senate if you need to arrest or to serve a warrant. It's just for propriety's sake, but it doesn't make law.
Now, going to another important occurrence at the Senate, the change in leadership. Can the Senate, as a majority, vote against the body convening as an impeachment trial court?
I don't think so. The Constitution is very clear. It is not optional. The word used there is shall. So it is mandatory. Whether they like it or not, they'll have to hear the impeachment case. So we hope, and also the board there is forthwith. Napakasimple yan, agad. We don't need to clarify it. We don't even need the Supreme Court perhaps to tell us.
Well, the Supreme Court said otherwise.
Well, if you look at that case, they did not need to define it there, because they could have said we don't have authority over the Senate and we cannot command the Senate, period. But unfortunately, the ponente started using other words that are not in the Constitution. Had the framers of the Constitution meant within a reasonable time, that's what they should have placed there. And to my mind, even the Supreme Court cannot add or change the language of the Constitution, and it's very clear in statutory construction. When a term has a very clear colloquial meaning, forthwith, agad, that's even translated in the official Tagalog version, that's what it means. You cannot change it into something else.
How would you interpret the words of Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano?
What word?
Well, he said it's a constitution. It's in the impeachment is provided for in the Constitution. They cannot dismiss it outright, but they cannot also convict on, if to paraphrase him, on flimsy charges, or there are no real charges. So how would you interpret this statement?
Well, I can agree with that. It's pretty obvious. Number one, it's a duty, so it's not optional. They have to convene as an impeachment court. It will be great abuse of discretion if they refuse to do so. Secondly, anybody, regardless of who you are in favor of, you have to look at the evidence, not politics.
But finally, it was his brainchild. The remanding of the complaint back to the House was suggested by Senator Cayetano last year.
Well,
that was
possibly
his brainchild. So could he do something of the same sort?
But I would like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. We'd like to believe that our elected representatives, especially high government officials in the Senate, would do the right thing and be faithful and loyal to the letter, spirit, and intent of the Constitution, which is, when it comes to impeachment, it should be quickly done, no delays, and they have to base their decisions on evidence. Their own oath and their own impeachment rule says they have to shed a lot of political affiliations. Hopefully, they will be faithful to that. It remains to be seen, but we want to give everyone a benefit of the doubt.
Once again, we thank you for your insights, former IBP President and constitutional law expert, Attorney Egon Cayosa.
We're just going to take a quick break, but coming up, the House has impeached Vice President Sara Duterte again in an overwhelming vote. But will a now Duterte allied majority at the Senate move for a trial? The answer when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
The big story is back with the House of Representatives impeaching Vice President Sara Duterte again. But even with an overwhelming House vote now complete, the bigger political battle may just be beginning at the Senate. Mobile journalist Amy Atienza has the report.
As expected, Vice President Sara Duterte has been impeached for a second time in her term. This after 257 lawmakers from the House of Representatives voted in favor of the committee report, effectively sending the articles of impeachment to the Senate. The number easily cleared the constitutional threshold of 106 votes. It even surpassed the highest public estimates floated by lawmakers in the days leading to the vote. 257 voted to impeach, 25 said no, and 9 abstained. House Justice Committee Chairperson Jervy Luistro insisted that the lower chamber followed the Constitution, House rules, and even the Supreme Court's guidance after the first impeachment case against Duterte was voided last year.
Hindi tayo naghanap ng shortcut. Naghanap tayo ng katotohanan. At maging malinaw po tayo, ang prosesong ito ay hindi paghamak sa mga Pilipinong sumusuporta sa Vice Presidente. Gayunpaman, kahit wala siya sa pagdinig, pinag-aralan pa rin ng Committee on Justice ang bawat dipensang inilabas ng kanyang kampo. At matapos ang mahabang deliberasyon, matapos ang halos 22 resource persons, matapos ang libu-libong pahina ng records, nagkaisa ang Committee on Justice. Unanimous po ang boto. The committee found probable cause to proceed with impeachment.
The House adopted 4 articles of impeachment against the Vice President. First, the alleged misuse of at least 500 million pesos in confidential funds at the office of the Vice President and 112.5 million pesos at the Department of Education, where she previously served as secretary. Second, alleged bribery involving DepEd officials. Third, the alleged threat against President Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and former Speaker Martin Romualdez. And fourth, the alleged unexplained wealth and discrepancies in her statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth, or SALN. The Justice Committee first found probable cause in a 53-0 vote last April 29 before unanimously adopting the consolidated articles on May 4. Duterte and her legal team skipped all the hearings, choosing to respond through press briefings and written statements. For lawmakers who voted yes, the impeachment was about accountability. Akbayan Representative Percy Sendanya was among those who backed the move.
Ayaw natin sa lider na nagbabanta ng pagpatay sa harap ng media. Ayaw natin sa lider na kumukubra at naglalabada ng pera mula sa droga. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, 69% ng mga Pilipino ang gustong harapin ni Sara Duterte ang lahat ng aligasyon laban sa kanya. The numbers do not lie. The majority of Filipinos want to start the impeachment trial, and they want to start it forthwith. Who are we to stand in their way? Simula na ang paglilitis. Convict Sara now.
Meantime, several Duterte allies opposed the impeachment, arguing it was politically motivated. Present during the opening of the proceedings were members of the Duterte family, including Davao Representatives Pulong Duterte, Omar Duterte, and Henry Duterte. And before the chamber could vote, the Vice President's brother, Congressman Pulong, walked out of the session hall. He later declined to comment further on the proceedings.
In case na makuha yung boto ngayon, sir?
Tanungin mo yung boboto, wag ako.
Pero did you get the same information, sir?
Siguro.
Ay sa Congress?
No comment.
Sir, ano to, form of protest po ba ito, yung pag-walk out, sir?
Anong going to do?
Sir, is this walking out?
Ha? Yes. Sabihin mo, sabihin ko.
Iba pa kayong statement sa mga congressman na boboto ngayon sa impeachment. Baka may gusto kayong sabihin sa kanila.
Just few in
No comment. Yeah.
What will be your susunod na ano po? Mga susunod na hakbang po?
Mag-lunch.
Meanwhile, Batangas Representative Leandro Leviste questioned claims raised by Senator Amy Marcos that lawmakers were allegedly offered 2 million pesos to vote for the impeachment. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Lawrence Defensor quickly denied the allegation.
Confirmed the information that some members of Congress got 2 million pesos on March 18.
We categorically deny any such allegation.
No one should lose their benefits for their vote today.
Other lawmakers also used the floor debates to make their final appeals. Cavite Representative Francisco Barzaga defended Duterte, calling her a leading anti-corruption voice and a strong contender for the 2028 presidential elections. Meanwhile, Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila de Lima said the House had a constitutional duty to move forward with the impeachment after reviewing the evidence.
The survey results which consistently place her as our #1 presidential candidate for 2028. Yet instead of congratulating her for these achievements, you instead seek to remove her.
The constitutional process of accountability could not move forward if we shirked our duties in this House, if we dropped the ball in this plenary. Kaya naman po, bilang endorser ng Sabalia et al. Complaint at bilang aktibong lumahok sa mga committee proceedings, I vote yes to affirm the favorable resolution of the committee setting forth the articles of impeachment.
Attention now shifts to the Senate, where the political numbers appear far more challenging for the prosecution. The articles of impeachment will now be transmitted to the upper chamber, which must convene as an impeachment court. A 2/3 vote, or 16 out of 24 senators, is needed to oust Duterte from office and disqualify her from seeking the presidency in 2028. Akbayan Representative Chel Jokno said the public will be watching the next phase of the process very closely, regardless of who leads the Senate. He said the House has done its part and it is now up to the upper chamber to fulfill its constitutional duty as an impeachment court. Kapatid Amy Atienza, we are One News.
Now let's discuss this further with Bicol Saro Party List Congressman Terry Ridon. Good evening, Congressman. Welcome once again to The Big Story.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
So it was more than you expected. Staggering 80% of the House supported the impeachment. Could this mean that even the allies of VP Sara abandoned her?
No, I think many of our colleagues had been convinced by the strength of the evidence that we had seen on the three grounds that had been presented. 6.7 billion in total transactions of the Duterte Carpio couple, 448 million in confidential funds that are being asked to be returned to our government coffers by the coalition audit. And lastly, the threats against the president is very much clear from the video evidence. So I think many of our colleagues had been sufficiently convinced that there is a reason for the House to impeach the Vice President again for the second time under a different Congress.
Kong, the thunder was stolen from the House by the goings-on at the Senate. Now, are you concerned that in passing the impeachment to the Senate, it may not even push through because of the change in leadership?
Well, I don't think the thunder was ever stolen. I think the House has its own mandate. The Senate has its own mandate. We will transmit within the week to the Senate, and hopefully the Senate will convene as an impeachment court in the soonest time.
Congressman, when will you decide on who will form part of the prosecution panel?
Within this week, hopefully by tomorrow, we will be able to elect the 11-person panel of the prosecution.
But as
who
early
will,
as early as now, Kong, parang may mga names na po na lumulutang?
tama po, may mga pangalan na po mga binabanggit, pero nothing is ever final until we get to be elected by the plenary. So hopefully within tomorrow or Wednesday, the final list will be elected as to who the prosecutors will be.
And Kong Terry, after the Senate coup, is the House in any way worried, no, na parang all your trouble could be for naught?
Hindi naman po. Ang totoo naman po yung nagbago lang naman po yung liderato na po ng Senado. Ang komposisyon naman po ng Senado ay pareho pa rin naman po. So, handa naman po yung Kamara, whoever the prosecutors will be, to present the evidence as we had found at the House Committee on Justice. And we will, of course, wait for the defense of the Vice President herself there. No? So, doon po magkakaalaman nung pong balanse po ng ebidensya at pruweba dito po sa mga patayan for impeaching the Vice President.
Tama ba that the prosecutors don't necessarily have to be lawyers?
Well, sinasabi po na iba pwedeng hindi po lawyers, no? Pero I think in previous impeachment po kasi lahat po ng mga miyembro ng prosecution panel, mga abogado po lahat. No? So I think for this next batch of prosecutors, sisikapin po namin na lahat po ay mga abogado rin po. Pero tama po kayo, wala pong pagbabawal na non-lawyers po yung maging bahagi po ng prosecution panel.
Now, even if the Vice President did not show up in the Justice Committee hearings, her family showed up today before the vote. What do you make of that?
Well, syempre, ginagalang po natin yung pagpapakita nila kanina ngayong araw na ito. Meron po roll call for attendance. No? Pero hindi lang ako tiyak kung ano po yung mga narehistro na mga boto po nung pong mga kapamilya po ng ating pong pangalawang Pangulo. I will have to check the records whether they voted no, whether they abstained, or whether they registered as did not vote. No? Kasi I have to check ano ho yung panahon kung kailan ho lumabas po sa plenaryo yung pong mga magkakamag-anak po Duterte.
And Kong Terry, because of the Senate leadership change, are you worried at all that the Senate might not tackle this immediately, especially because of that Supreme Court ruling interpretation of the word forthwith, which now means without any unreasonable delay? So now it's up to the senators to interpret what that really means, and that doesn't necessarily mean they will tackle it immediately the next day, like what former Senate President Tito Soto said he would do.
Well, we will leave it to the Senate. No? So under the leadership now po of Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, may mga binanggit naman po siyang specific remarks relating to the impeachment, which is I think it raises our confidence po na pwede po talaga mag-proceed pa rin. Ito po ang impeachment trial. So we will leave the timelines to the leadership of the Senate, no, on how it will be done. But of course, we are hopeful that in the soonest time, makonvene po yung Senate Impeachment Court.
So on your end, tuloy-tuloy lang ang paghahanda, preparations?
Tama po yun. So hopefully within the week, we will be able to physically transmit the articles of impeachment to the Senate. No? So it's just a matter of determining which day we will actually go there to transmit it to them. Yun po yung una. Pangalawa, yung election po ng prosecutors will be finalized today or on Wednesday.
All right, we thank you very much for your time. Congressman Terry Ridon, thank you for talking to us.
Looks like that will
All
do
right,
it for us.
Manic Monday, right?
No, it's only Monday. Actually, the whole weekend.
There were lots of stories.
So many
Iba natabunan na because of what happened today.
Going to sleep last night, I did not expect na the top stories today would be the top stories today. So a lot of issues still to unfold this week.
But for tonight, that will do it for us here on The Big Story this very eventful Monday. Thank you so much for watching.
We're back here tomorrow as promised at 8 p.m. See you then.
Kapatid, we are One News, all sides, all the time. Have a good night.